Yo, it's your boy Kenji, man, and look here, I'm back with another movie review. This is the Adam Project. Uh, this is a 2022 Netflix film, and I'm gonna tell you, this was a fun ride. It was a Netflix movie, so don't take it too serious. But it was a fun ride. It was very funny, and it was very interesting at certain points. I would say this is an okay movie if you want to just check it out on Netflix. But let's get into a little bit of the spoilers, or just the summary of this movie. This movie is called The Adam Project. It's basically got something to do with time travel. So you have the main character. If you can see from the trailers, you could tell what's about to happen. You got the little boy and his older version meeting up. Time machine stuff. So Ryan Reynolds is playing the older version of himself, and you have what's this boy's name? Walker Scobell, who's playing the younger uh, character of Ryan Reynolds. Now they meet each other, and it's like I said, it's a blast of a ride. It's very funny, and I felt like the chemistry between Ryan Reynolds and his younger self, played by Walker Scobell, it was very intriguing. It was very funny. You know what I'm saying? It was a laugh. I love that little boy. I hope he gets into bigger films because you could tell he has a lot of charisma. He's very charismatic, if that's the word. But you also have this story. Now, if you get into the story, sometimes the story doesn't make sense. So basically, what's going on is uh, the person who created this time machine was Ryan Reynolds' father, who is played by Mark Ruffalo, right? And the person who invested into the time machine is now in the future, right? And it's going back in the time, changing stuff for our own benefits. And so you have Ryan Reynolds, and his love interest girlfriend, played by Zoe Saldana, if I got her last name right, Zoe Saldana, and they go back in time to try to stop this. So you pretty much know how this movie's gonna get played out. There was one thing about this movie that just didn't make no logical sense, and it was the whole reason behind Ryan Reynolds tag teaming with his younger self and getting his younger self into all this craziness. Because I was thinking, like, why is the little boy tagging on? But there's one key element about this story: the ship or the time machine that Ryan Reynolds comes in. He cannot activate it while he's injured, right? So he needs his younger self to activate the time machine because he came at the wrong time. He wanted to come at the time where the time machine, before the time machine was created by his father, so he can stop it from ever being created, right? And I was thinking in my mind, he was already injured, right? He's injured, he can't use the ship. And they make sure to let you know he was shot by one of the bad guys. And I was thinking in my mind, like, how did you even get the time machine to start in the first place? How did you get into this time machine, basically a ship, and activate it if you were injured? And I thought this was a horrible drawback. So if you injured, you can't even use this time machine because every time machine is stamped with your DNA. I don't know why that's the case, but apparently that was the only excuse to have this younger version of Ryan Reynolds, his character, tag team along with his older self and to get into these dangerous situations. And I was like, ooh, that was it was like it was the main reason for this movie even existing. And that little not make that whole little point right there, it kind of doesn't make no sense. And there was also a point where it got very serious, right? Where Zoe Saldana, she was about to like sacrifice herself so he can get away because Ryan Reynolds is the only one can activate that time machine and he needs to be alive. And she was getting all so sentimental and was like had this speech, and I was like, I wasn't feeling it. because I was like, y'all just met up. We don't really know too much about your relationship. Y'all didn't build it up at all. And I just couldn't get into it when she sacrificed herself. Spoiler, she sacrificed herself and got killed. And I was like, "Ma, I can't feel it." But it was an okay film. And it was some bad CGI as well. But the main villain, her name is Catherine Keener, and she plays the villain in this movie. Goes back in time and tries to change everything for her benefits, and they do some CGI on her when she meets her younger self, and the CGI is horrible. It's like Mandalorian next level Luke Skywalker CGI bad. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I need to call Disney and try to fix this, because Disney actually fixed it their second go around when they did the Boba Fett, and you saw you saw Luke's face. It was way more better. If you want, it was better, but the CGI was just horrible. But all that put aside, for a Netflix film and just being a fun ride, a fun action film, it was very good. Jennifer Garner's character, she did what I was like. I didn't like her character and the acting, but I could tell this was a writer's issue with her character not seeming like you could tell it was the writer's fault. Uh, Based on what she was saying, you could tell he was like, "Ugh, this character." This character has some issues. That's all I can say. The character had issue flaws in it, but let me just give you an example. There was a point in the film where she goes out on her date and she leaves her son. He's like 12 in the house by himself in the middle of the woods. I was thinking like, damn, mama, get a babysitter. Left the little boy. And that's when all the shit happened. And he went into the woods after hearing something crash. I'm thinking like, what little boy goes into the woods? You don't know what the fuck just crash landed. An alien, a ghost. He went into the woods by himself with his dog. And I was like, man, not me. I would have saw that shit. I would have locked up the whole house. I don't know what that is. But like I said, to keep this movie going in the track that it wanted to go in, it was a lot of stuff you just had to, it was unbelievable stuff, but you just had to let it ride so the movie can actually do what it had planned to do. And I was like, maybe it needed some tweaks, but like I said, Netflix film. It's like expecting a sci-fi movie. Remember the Sci-Fi Channel? I don't watch it no more. I don't got cable. But remember the Sci-Fi Channel and all the movies they had? It was like the movie didn't make no goddamn sense, but the whole idea of it was great. But you understood, yeah, it's a sci-fi movie, my nigga. It came on the Sci-Fi Channel, so it's kind of like that. Netflix movie, it did its best, but if you want to give it a grade on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10, just because of the interesting plot. It has some good ideas, but if this movie were to ever, if the idea of it were to ever be done again and put into the films and with some like a lot of money invested, I think the movie was like 150 million, and I was like, wow, it's a lot of money. I really didn't see all. I don't know, man. These movies, they just be throwing a lot of money into these movies, and I think like sometimes y'all need to hold back on the budget. I'm like, where the budget went. But okay, good film. You'll like it if you're a Ryan Reynolds fan, you're gonna like this movie. You're gonna be like, I love the barter between him and his younger self. That's the main focus, and that was the main thing that I liked about this movie. So it's your boy Kenji. Subscribe, comment, like, share. Do all the thug dizzle. I'm out.